Hello and welcome back to Beer and Philosophy. Cheers. So I want to talk about feminism. Not a contentious issue at all. So let's see. So this is why, I talked previously about intersectionality, which is, from my understanding, grew out of the feminist scholarship, let's say. So you will no doubt be shocked to hear that I generally agree with the idea of feminism. Now, maybe let's take a moment, take a step back, and say, well, what are we talking about? So, here's where I offend everyone. Right? So, by saying, oh yeah, I'm a feminist, I'm going to offend, one group of you. And then by saying, well, I think that feminism is unfortunately named, I'm going to offend the rest of you. So, or nearly all of you have now been offended, so hooray. But yeah, so what would I say? So if we define feminism as the idea of, well, people should be treated, well, there's a contentious word around, equally or equitably or, whatever, fairly or whatever you want to insert here. We could get into the different permutations of that in the future, if you like. But, if we're going to treat people well and treat people equitably, regardless of their gender, that seems quite reasonable to me, right? That we shouldn't treat people better or worse based on their gender. I agree with that idea. And I also think that feminism, just inherently in the name, sort of, suggests actually something other than that. And obviously this could be argued from either side and whatever, fair enough. I hope to have some of those conversations, hopefully with some knowledgeable people who maybe disagree with my point in the relatively near future. So hopefully we'll all learn from that. But the name itself, to me, implies a preference for one particular gender over other genders. Yes, genders. We can get into that in a bit too. Okay, so I don't agree with that idea. The idea of preferential treatment for any gender over other genders, that seems antithetical to the values espoused by many, hopefully most, feminists. And I would like to think that pretty much everyone, hopefully, can get behind the idea of treating people well, equitably, regardless of their gender. So anyway, from that perspective, I do identify as a feminist. So if someone's like, hey, are you a feminist? Not that this, people don't stop me on the street typically and ask this question, but in the rare events where it does happen, I'm going to ask, well, what do you mean by feminism? And if they say something along the lines of, treating people fairly and equally and equitably and whatever, irrespective of gender, I'll be like, yes, absolutely, then I'm a feminist, for sure. And I do that just to kind of point out that not everyone at least acts as if that is their goal. Some people, their actions seem to demonstrate that they hold, well, typically cis males, of which I am one, typically, especially cis white males, hey, over here, particularly culpable. They view folks like me with disdain. So I've encountered this. Now again, this is not to claim like, oh poor me, the poor, poor white cis male. Oh no. It's merely to point out that some people are not living out their values, at least as they espouse them. Anyway, hopefully we can get more deeply into this topic in the future.